Today we are going to be talking about 6-year-old Amantle Samane, right? And this was a little girl who deserved a future. She deserved to grow up, and she was fierce. Her mother described her as a fierce little girl. Now, we are going to be talking about this case because the justice system has closed a loop. You see, today, Amantle's killer and her rapist, 25-year-old Phethe Simiao, has been sentenced to life imprisonment for rape, for murder, and 2 years for kidnapping. And Judge William Karam, he had some really hard words for this perpetrator. And this is a case that has come full circle, but we know that the trauma for the victims' families never ends. We know that Amantle's mother is struggling. She has 4 other children, and she said today that she does not want to take them to church anymore, and she struggles to pray because of what has happened to her little girl.
I will not sleep. I will relive the pain, remember the flashbacks, remembering everything that happened when
Now, if you are sensitive, this is not the story for you. Your mental health matters to me. Give me a like, give me a follow, and scroll on. And most of you who watch these, they don't follow me. So please, if you enjoy my content, consider giving me a follow. So let's start at the beginning when Amantle went missing. She went missing on the 21st of October 2024, and she was doing what little girls around the whole world do, is that she was playing outside her home. And her mother realized that she had gone missing, and she alerted the community, and the community did what any good community does, and they started searching for her. This sounds familiar, right? Lolita, this happened in Lolita. This is a very familiar story. And what would happen is that a teenager would come forward and say, listen, I actually saw Amantle walking off with an unknown man. I know he's not her relative, but I can identify him. And the teenager did, and the community rocked up at this man's residence. And when they rocked up at his residence, the landlord kicked down the door of the residence, and there was Amantle. She was half naked, and she had been unalived in the most brutal way. She had been strangled. Now, the perpetrator in this case, Phethe, he would immediately realize that he was in trouble, so he would flee. He would flee, and him fleeing caused such a big hurrah, right? That on the 22nd of October, Gauteng police was chatting with Interpol because they were worried that he was going to slip back into the border to Mozambique because he is a foreign national. He is originally from Mozambique. So they thought that he was going to go back to Mozambique, and he was caught on the 23rd of October in a back room in Soweto, basically due to an informant network. And then on the 25th of October, he appeared in court. And this has always been an open and shut case because the victim was found in his residence. He had his DNA from his bodily fluids all over her. This has always been, and there's eyewitness statements, this has always been an open and a shut case. And I think that he thought so because he decided in the 15th of August 2025 that he was going to plead guilty. Now, pleading guilty in this case spared the family a lengthy trial, but there is not going to be any justice, in my opinion, because we still don't exactly know what really happened to Amantle. We know that this hideous human being, right, Phethe, right, he blamed alcohol for killing her. He blamed a lot of other factors. He never once, in my opinion, took responsibility and said, you know what, it was all me, right? I'm a killer. What he did is that, first of all, he said that the reason that he had unalived her was because he wanted to conceal the rape. And he basically said that the rape had occurred because he had been drinking, right? And we know a lot of people throughout the world consume alcohol, and they do not go and commit rapes. I mean, alcohol does not make you commit rapes if your compulsion to do that is already there, in my own personal opinion. And what we know is that when he would confess his guilt, he left out a lot of things. We don't know how long Amantle was left there. We know that at some stage he left her there to go and buy more alcohol and return. We don't know how long she was kidnapped. We don't know when she was unalived. These are details that we will never know because he is choosing not to speak about them. Now, on the 19th of August, Amantle's mother read a victim impact statement in court, and this woman is not okay. She is struggling. And ironically enough, on the 19th of August, that would have been Amantle's 7th birthday. But instead of celebrating with her child at home, how she should have, Amantle's mother was reading a victim impact statement about her child. And she said that the trauma is so much. She has 4 other children, and she is struggling. She is struggling to take them to church. She is struggling to pray because of the trauma of the situation that has happened. And as we see, as a justice system, we can sometimes close the loop and arrest the predator, but the pain is something that will always remain. For the rest of their life, this mother is going to go to bed at night knowing that her child died an absolutely terrible death. Now, Phethe is from Zimbabwe. He entered South Africa in April 2024. He entered legally, right, with his wife and with his toddler. And he rented a place of residence from someone in Orlando East. And we know that Phethe has always been perhaps a violent man because the landlord would overhear him abusing his wife. He would hear the wife screams. And it got so bad to the point in September 2024, the landlord came to Phethe and said, listen here, you have to leave because of this ongoing abuse towards your wife. You have until the end of October to get your stuff out. And we know at the end of October, that's when Amantle was killed. Now, this man is someone, Phethe is someone who I believe should never ever be allowed out of prison. We know that he has an extensive history of violence towards women. If he is only 25 years old, and if he is abusing his wife, and if he is unaliving, which he is unaliving and raping young 6-year-old girls, he has all the makings, in my opinion, of a serial predator. And I can only hope that the justice system will prevail, that the justice system will keep him behind bars until he draws his last dying breath, and that life imprisonment in South Africa can actually mean life imprisonment, because that is what he has been sentenced to. He's been sentenced to life imprisonment for rape, life imprisonment for unaliving, and 2 years for kidnapping. I'm going to end this off with a few choice words from the judge, Judge William Karam. He had a few choice words, and I don't think I can sum it up any better. He said the victim was a defenseless and innocent child playing in the street when she was pulled by the accused into his shack. One can only imagine her terror at first being abducted. He then also went on to speak about how the grape and how the grape must have terrified her, how she must have been absolutely terrified in her last moments of life. And we also know that the judge did not find Phethe remorseful. He said that he failed to demonstrate genuine remorse, noting that his failure to testify about what happened to the child, because initially when Phethe came to court, he pleaded not guilty, and then we know that he pled guilty, and he just, refused to testify about what had happened to the child. And the judge would end it off by saying a plea of guilty in the face of an open and shut case is a neutral factor. There is a chasm between regret and remorse, the judge said, finding that Phethe was feeling sorry for himself of being caught rather than showing genuine remorse.
Good afternoon to the viewers. When Judge Karam laid down that sentence, basically handed down that sentence, the gallery was clapping. And you also could have seen Amantle Samane's mother crying as she heard the sentence. And this mother, Amantle's mother, has been saying that what she wants is justice for her daughter. She spoke about how she will miss her daughter. And when Judge Karam also was handing down the sentence, he spoke about the trauma that Amantle Samane might have went through during this process when Phethe Simiao kidnapped her. The judge speaking also about the fact that when Simiao did not testify in court, he leaves a lot of questions, especially to the family, because the family wants to understand why he did that and perhaps how he did that. You must remember that Simiao also admitted to the fact that when he kidnapped Amantle Samane, he also left her in his shack to go buy alcohol, and the judge there saying, we don't even know, we are none the wiser right now in terms of the effect that the alcohol had in this situation. Remember also, Mfundo, that Simiao's legal team had argued that their client is remorseful, but the judge saying that it is not clear, it is not in the court, rather is not in possession of how remorseful is he. Is it the fact that he is now feeling sorry for his actions, or because he has been caught? And this is one thing that the NPA was saying, that if he was remorseful, he would have pleaded guilty a long time ago. It's been 10 months that he has been in custody, and it's only now when the trial was about to start that his legal representative decided that, or advised him rather, to plead guilty.
The judge went also to note on xenophobia during sentencing and said that many foreigners in the country, and even those here unlawfully, many are good, hardworking people that are simply here to seek a better life, and that Phethe isn't an example of them. Now, this is the end of the story. This is where we've closed a loop in the justice system, and I can only say that I don't know if justice has been achieved in this case. What is your opinion of justice? Comment below. Do you think that, Amantle got justice? Do you think that her mother got justice? Now, if you like my content, please consider giving me a like and a follow, because I am here to raise awareness about the war on women and children in South Africa.